Going to come up with some things to talk about while Nat finishes getting ready to come on. Sorry, babe. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. It has been very good for us. Our first weekend back from the cruise. Are we going to talk about? We didn't do anything talking about the cruise yet, did we?
No, we did the live on the cruise.
We did live on the cruise. We could do a little summary, I guess. Talk about it some more. What's up, Juliana? All right, so today we're talking about weight loss resistance, which is funny because was it this morning we saw that ad? I saw that ad come up. It's crazy, guys. Weight loss resistance, it's become such a buzzword. It's a marketing term these days. I think that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. What is weight loss resistance? How do you approach it? What's the process to go through to improve your body's ability to lose fat, right? That's one of the things we want to talk about. Is it weight really, or is it fat? Yeah, I don't want to go into a rant on it now because I know Coach Nat has some good things to say about it. So good things to input in her views on things. So no, I can intro it, but then if I start going, by the time I'm gonna say everything in one long rant, and then you're gonna show up and be like, "What is there for me to talk about?" So, we are back in the groove. What's some things that we got? I'll talk about some things we have going on right now. Right? Hey, Kristen, what's up? How to fix it? You sign up with Nat or Bronson here or there. I did it all for you. Juliana said, "How do you fix weight loss resistance? You sign up with Coach Nat or Coach Bronson."
Yeah.
There, I did it all. I did it all for you. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much, Juliana. All right, things that are going on in the next few months. We have Coach Nat. Coach Nat has a new program. What's the name of it?
No, you talk about your stuff and then I'll come out.
No, I want to tell people about your stuff.
Well, because I want to talk about it.
Oh, she wants to talk about it. Okay. So nothing new as far as programs go, right? I have come out with a new lifting program for any ladies out there who are over 40 having a hard time building muscle. It is called the F2 Method Muscle Mommies program. It is a recurring monthly program. You get programming each month. It's designed specifically to help you improve your metabolism by building muscle and doing all the cool stuff that Lean Mask does for you. So the ladies that I have in my other programs that have switched over to this have been absolutely loving it. A lot of my programs traditionally have been more functional fitness, kind of high intensity CrossFit based stuff. And I still have those programs and they're still fantastic programs. But some of the ladies have really been like, how do I want to focus as much energy as possible into building muscle. And that's what this program is all about. And they have absolutely gotten to levels of the way their body looks, how they feel about themselves, the confidence they have in what they can do. That's at levels they've never seen before. So it's been fantastic just seeing what building muscle can do for the journey.
He just steals ideas from me, that's all. That's how he does that.
I have another program that I'm working on that is going to be basically the same thing. It's all going to be about building muscle, specifically focused on muscle building and improving that. But it's going to be machine only. So I have run into a lot of scenarios where people are coming in and they're saying, I don't really have a lot of experience, but I just joined Planet Fitness, or I just joined Y, or I just joined some community fitness center. I don't know what I need to be doing. How do I figure this out? Whatever. And giving them a program that has, barbell work or kettlebell work or dumbbell work, things like that, is just overwhelming. So if I can give them a program that says, hey, here's the basic weightlifting machines that are out there. You don't have to really learn too much about how to lift because the machine does the technique for you in many cases. It helps isolate the muscles that you're working. You just do what the machine lets you do, and then you can build the muscle from there. And that helps you learn how to feel the muscle, how to feel what it's like to work through challenging rep schemes and push yourself and feel muscle failure and all that kind of stuff. But it's a much higher level of safety with much lower risk and less skill and technique that you have to learn, again, because the machines are doing it for you. So I've built out the program. I know what the program is going to be. I just got to get it into the different applications and get it so that people can sign up for that kind of stuff. But it's going to be called Machine Masters, and it is designed for people who are over 40, who have access to machines, but not a lot of experience in the gym. So you can get on the machines, you can get your workouts in 2, 3, 4 days a week, knock it out and start building muscle and seeing that improvement from what happens when you get that lean mass built. So it'll be kind of a beginner intermediate level of how do you consistently build and grow in a muscle building type program. But it will be much more accessible and easy for people to start using. So that will be a super cool program. I think a lot of people will benefit from. Those are the two main things I got going on, besides always having the boot camp going. Coach Michelle is crushing it in the boot camp right now. Everybody's having a blast with all the different things we're doing in there, in our Discord community, getting their check-ins. And it's if you don't know what the boot camp is, it is my version of the challenges that I've run in the past combined with one-on-one coaching. So getting that group challenge aspect of everybody's in the group doing stuff together, but also you're getting individual feedback, individual nutrition plans, individual coaching on a weekly basis. We do group community calls on Discord, all those different types of things. So check all that stuff out. That's what we have going on. Yeah, that's what we got. And then the book. I almost forgot the book. The book is coming out in September. If you guys have not already done so, go to my channel. Look at my live streams that I have. I have one scheduled for September 3rd. September 3rd, the day after everybody comes back from Labor Day weekend. And there's a live schedule. It's going to be a 2-hour live in the evening where I'm going to have some special guests. I'm going to have Dr. Ovadia. I think I got Casey Ruff signed up right now. I got this lady. She's going to hop on and we're going to talk about some stuff. I've got other people that I'm inviting on. So we're going to have about 2 hours of guests come on who have taken a look at the book. Dr. Ovadia, if everyone's familiar with Dr. Ovadia, he wrote the book, How to Stay Off My Operating Table. And he runs a cardiology surgery. He's a cardiac surgeon, I believe out of Florida. He lives in Illinois, I think, and flies to Florida to do a surgery, something like that. But if you go check him out at ifixhearts.com, I think it is, or I know his Instagram is ifixhearts. He wrote the foreword for the book. I met him on the carnivore season of Reversed last year, 2 years ago. How long ago was that?
Last January.
Was it last January? A year and a half ago? Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Here she is. Okay.
Wait, I got to go live on my Instagram.
You got to go live on your Instagram. Okay. So that's what's going on with me. The book comes out in September. We do a launch party on the YouTube. So click on the notify me for that when that goes live.
We got to do another welcome.
Another welcome. Mm-hmm. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I got something in my eye. I got sleep in my eyes. It's itchy.
So what's up, Instagram? If you are just joining us, Coach Bronson has already been live on his YouTube for about 5 or 10 minutes, 8 minutes. 9
minutes and 43 seconds.
So if you missed the intro there, check out Coach Bronson at Coach Bronson on YouTube.
We're just jumping
all
right
of the. You just gave basically updates of what's been going on with his programs, the things you can plug into there, the new book, all that good stuff. So go there to get that. For my audience.
For your audience.
What are we talking about today?
Well, we're talking about weight loss resistance.
Weight loss resistance.
What is it really?
Demystifying it.
I gotta open up my notes for that too. I took notes.
Yeah.
I wrote notes down. Did you write notes down?
But first, I suppose I should talk about what I have coming up. share with your audience and my audience.
What do you have coming up? I know what I got coming up.
Y'all, it's all the time here. All the time. This is what we do. There's a lot of innuendo. Hey, good relationships should have good innuendo.
Anywho.
All right, so
She said, sir. Don't yell at me, Juliana.
it's constant, y'all. It's awesome. It keeps things interesting, let me tell you. Keto Bikini Land, what we have going on. Right now, Academy membership, Keto Bikini Academy membership is open for 1 more week. We will be closing enrollment to the Academy on June 14th, 15th, because on June 15th, we launch our next challenge. And this is the one biggest, huge challenge that we do once a year. And this is where we have some grand prizes, we have some weekly prizes, we've got runner-up prizes. There's just a lot going on, a lot to give away. And it is all about stepping up and showing up for yourself in a new way. Of course, in the summer, we always usually want to shred. So in the past, it has been the Keto Bikini Body Summer Shred, and it has been a 6-week program. This year, new and improved, we are doing 8 weeks of programming. It will be 9 weeks total from July 1st through August 31st, so 2 full months. The program itself, the training, nutrition, education, coaching, all the things will last for 8 weeks. And let's see, what else do I want to talk about it? It's not just about, it's no longer called the Shred. It is called the Summer Shape Up Challenge. And that is because my big platform more and more these days is teaching women to focus on muscle building and not always focusing on loss.
Shape it, don't lose it.
So we're going to touch on that a little bit today with the weight loss resistance piece, because a lot of the time, weight loss resistance is because you're focused on the wrong thing. And it's not all about weight, it's about composition. So we will have options for a fat loss focus, a muscle building focus, a recomp focus, which is the two of those things together, and all the guidance you need within that challenge about which one is right for you, as well as within a low carb template. We work with everything from the highest of low carb all the way down to 0 carb. So if you have preferences for keto, ketovore, carnivore, you want to play with some carbs and start adding some carbs back in, we have options for you within all of that. We also have options for you within every level of fitness, from pure beginner to advanced athlete, and home and gym programs. So all of that is included and much more. The link is now in my Instagram bio and on my website, nataliejgrasso.com. Look for the Summer Shape Up Challenge. If you are in my Facebook group, that is where I always drop the information first, even before my email list gets it. So it's already been shared there. I just posted some details on my Instagram. But if you're not yet in the Facebook group, ladies, it's only for ladies, come and join us. Keto Bikini Secrets is the group name on Facebook, and we will get you squared away. Yes, Juliana's excited about tomatoes. She grows tomatoes in the summer, and she wants to increase her carbs in the summer so she can have her tomatoes and her cucumbers and all of her garden fresh stuff.
Nice.
So yeah.
You said something that I want to ask everybody. If you are watching, could you do me a favor? If you've done anything on any of my stuff, website, Instagram, you've done anything where you've signed up for emails. I know with the book coming out, I have a landing page for the book, and people have signed up to get alerts for information about the book, things like that. I'm having an issue right now where a lot of my emails are going to people's spam folders. So I just want to put this out there. If you're signed up for any of my email notifications or email list, I do a weekly newsletter every Wednesday. Please go in and make sure that you have 2 different domains set up to not go to spam. One is COACHBRONSON.com. Any emails from COACHBRONSON.com, make sure that it's not set to spam or junk. And then any emails that are from APXTS.com. That's my old domain. old domain, but I still have stuff that uses that. So apxts.com or coachbronson.com. Please make sure that those are not going to spam so you get the emails that I'm sending you.
You can see why he changed his domain.
Yes, I even forget what it used to be, right? It used to be because my branding and what I did used to be the Apex training system before it was Ultimate Ketogenic Fitness. And it's like, why am I just make it Coach Bronson? So, yeah.
Yep.
It used to be APXTS, then it was UKF. It's like, let's make things complicated for people. All right, let's talk about what we're here to talk about.
Weight loss resistance. First, before we dive in, I want to hear from y'all. Have you heard this term floating around the interwebs? As you've heard this term, weight loss resistance, what do you equate it with? Have you run across ads and promotions from gurus and doctors?
Doctors, like we saw this morning.
Like this morning. We should share what we saw this morning first.
No.
Do you have it on there?
I don't want to share it. We can talk about it.
I want to talk about it.
You want to actually link, like,
Yeah, I don't
show
mean
exactly.
share it. I mean, share as in talk about it. Explain what we saw this morning. Because I think this is what most of the time you see out there when the term weight loss resistance is used. So the first thing we wanted to point out to y'all is that while there are things going on, essentially what weight loss resistance actually means,
Right.
when people say it, is essentially that it's more difficult for you to lose weight.
Right.
Right?
I'm having a hard time losing weight.
So while there are truths behind the concept of weight loss resistance, the way we see it most out in the space is just like what we saw this morning, which is basically ads trying to sell you into programs, supplements.
I can't lose weight despite diet or exercise. Do you realize that is a problem just in the last 10 years? Oh, there's a reason why.
Just in the last 10 years. It never existed before.
Food people are eating. Okay, so I know that sounds a little confusing, but certain hormones like insulin, leptin, ghrelin, of course, estrogen, testosterone, all of those hormones, actually, and thyroid hormone as well, have a lot to do with how we use fat for energy or not. So, if your cells can't hear these hormones or the hormones can't get in the cell, guess what? We don't use fat for energy. We don't lose weight despite our diet and how much we exercise. This has become a modern day problem. Look, I know, you can change your diet, you can do all the diets, and you might lose 10 pounds, maybe even 15, but then it stops. That is a problem as well. That too is a hormone problem. But watch, I have a training below. I have taught this for 20 years, and I'm talking about...
You know what I think is funny? Is he just said 30 seconds ago that this is a 10-year problem, but he's been teaching it for 20 years. It's a modern day, like, wait,
there's
what?
So
Hold on a
much
second.
contradiction in this ad. I clicked through to see where it takes you, right? Because it's trying to sell you on his webinar, which is, when you see webinars online, free webinars, sign up for this free webinar, they're getting ready to give you a sales pitch.
Right.
So that's what that was. It was, get this free webinar, which now you're going to be on his email list, and now you're going to see this webinar where they're trying to sell you on his program, right? So I saw where he was saying, oh, diets, detoxes, this, that, and the other don't work.
Right.
And then I looked at the
very
comments.
first review.
It was reviews of his program. This is the best detox program
Ever.
I've ever been on. So detoxes don't work, but here's a detox program you can follow that's going to fix everything for you. And that is the bait and switch, y'all. That is. It's not even a bait and switch. It's a bait, and then they're giving you exactly what they are promoting, which is this one thing is the thing that you're missing that's going to fix the problem for you, and you don't have to do anything with your diet or exercise to change it. And that's what people want to hear, the magic pill concept.
And it's the magic pill concept. And the thing is, guys, everything that he said in there, outside of the things that were flat out wrong or not true, this isn't a modern day problem because hormones magically all of a sudden stop working. There's a lot of things that go into this. Lifestyle is different now than it was 100 years ago. The food we eat now is different than it was 100 years ago. The environment that we live in is different than it was. There are so many different things that go into this conversation. The term weight loss resistance is a newer, I think in the last year,
Yeah, I never
is
saw
a
it talked
newer
about.
marketing phrase to say metabolic dysfunction and weight loss. It's just another way to package you're trying to lose weight and you're having a hard time doing it. There's nothing new about that conversation. There is nothing new about insulin resistance. There is nothing new about managing satiety. There's nothing new about hyperpalatable overprocessed foods. There's nothing new about doing cardio for your exercise and overtraining chronically versus building muscle. Like none of this stuff is new.
It's all the same mechanisms.
It's all the same stuff.
And it always happens. Every year, every couple of years, you're going to hear a new term that is repackaging the same thing to sell you something.
Right. So just understanding, that's the first thing we want to talk about, is just understanding that weight loss resistance is the same things that you've been dealing with as long as you've been dealing with it. There's nothing new. There is no single thing, no single protocol or supplement or course or program or whatever that's going to fix it. And if you do want to join a program, if you do want to spend money to help yourself figure this out, you want to look at doing it with a person or a program or a doctor or whatever it may be, someone who's going to guide you through the process of figuring out what are all of the pieces of the puzzle
360 degrees
that are going to help you put this together. It's not one thing. So if you're evaluating, hey, I want help, I need guidance. If the solution is this thing,
buy
right?
These things, here's a PDF. And that's all,
right, or even people that focus on, we have people in the space, colleagues that are like, hey, I'm the leptin resistance person, I'm the mineral deficiency person, I'm the this, I'm the that, I'm going to balance your hormones person. Like, those are all great, and those are individual pieces. You need to get 5 of those people
that's
across the board, right, in each of their different areas in order to help figure out all the things that are actually going on with you.
Basically, you don't want to go to someone who says this one thing is the answer.
Right.
And forget everything else.
I like that. Same gift, new wrapping paper.
Ooh, that's good.
That's deep, Juliana. I like that.
It's like regifting.
Mm-hmm. Yes, where they're just regifting. Yes, I love it.
Yeah, I see a lot of the time too. And look, there's nothing wrong with you for wanting a magic pill, right? It's frustrating. It's hard. I just saw a friend of mine who has a national title. She's a bikini champion in fitness champion, who came from being over 200 pounds, overweight, mom. She's now had another kid since then, maybe 2 more since she started her journey. And you wouldn't even believe that she was ever overweight if you saw her now. She just shared, I love it when she shares her transformation from the beginning, because it is a blatant show of what's possible when you do focus on all aspects. Because she was keto. Now I know she eats more carbs on a more consistent basis because she's metabolically healthy and she can handle that now. But she came from keto, and it has just been incredible to see where she's come. And somebody in the comments today, how did you make this transformation? She said a lot of work, inner and outer, over years. Right? Ultimately, you don't need a magic pill. You are the magic pill. And that was your talk on the cruise this year, was what you are
the key. You are the key. You are the key to your success.
Yep. And so it's natural to want this to just go away. And it's so enticing when you see these ads saying, I have the thing. You just are missing this one thing. You just got to detox your liver. And then all of a sudden, magically, all of the fat is just going to fall off. And you don't have to diet anymore.
I'm glad I haven't heard anybody say that one in a while. That one, I feel like I'm hoping we squash that.
That's part of Dr. Pompey's
I hope not.
program, I'm sure.
I hope not. God.
Well, and look, let me just say, there is credence to these things, Because the other thing that is a modern problem in the last probably 20 years, maybe longer, is we are exposed to so much more toxins. Toxins are
Environmental
just
toxins.
stressors to the body.
60, 70 years.
Toxins
80
are
years.
not like this magical thing.
Yeah.
It's anything that's a stress to the body, anything that creates inflammation in the body, that changes your chemical makeup, which is all the plastics, all of our personal care products, ladies,
Yeah.
all of these things. Now, they've been in existence for what, 40, 50 years now.
But how they're produced and what's in them has changed.
Absolutely. So it's
Right.
only gotten worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so
if we look at a lot of the major chronic diseases, right? If we look at cancer, if we look at skin cancer, if we look at cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, if we look at diabetes, if you look at those things, a lot of them, and this is all correlation. We can't say causation, but the frequency of which the correlation matches the trend is really eye-opening. When you look at the increase of sugar intake or the increase of processed carbohydrate foods, ultra-processed foods, and how diabetes has increased, the utilization, how much of it we eat almost matches one for one with how diabetes has increased in America. If we look at seed oils, the introduction of seed oils in the early 1900s led to, within 10 years, the first documented heart attack. I don't know if people know that.
Yeah.
The first documented heart attack in the United States happened within 10 years after Crisco went on the market.
When we took out the natural
When we took out the
fats.
natural things and we started selling engine oil as a food, people started having heart attacks. Oh my God, wonder if that's linked at all, right? And then if you look at the trend, as seed oils increased in usage and how much we ate, cardiovascular disease has increased almost one for one. If we look at when sunscreen was introduced, I haven't personally looked at that, but I'm thinking about this now. I'm wondering if the rates of skin cancer match similarly
absolutely to
sunscreen,
yes.
the use of sunscreen.
Yes, they do.
Right?
They do, absolutely.
It's like, how can we not make these connections?
And then not only the sunscreen,
it's like,
but we've been told to stay out of the sun.
Right.
So now we're not getting the vitamin D that our body needs to synthesize and utilize the other nutrients properly, and impacts our hormonal balance.
Mm-hmm.
So I love these comments here from Shayla, and Kristen.
So Shayla said, it has to be individual. We have to make our own minds and bodies.
We have our own
bodies. And then our bodies have been damaged differently and for various periods of time. Our chemical makeup is different. How could a one-size-fits-all work effectively? Right.
Yep. Yeah, and Aaron mentions brewing better living. Is it an omega-3 to 6 ratio issue? This intrigues me. That's another piece of it.
That's part of it. Absolutely.
These are all parts of it.
Let's get all the 6s and forget about the 3s.
So, okay, what I want to start
Let's get back. Let's get back
on
on the weight loss resistance.
when it comes to weight loss
manage it?
resistance. One thing I want to break down is kind of what's happening here, right? When you have gained weight. So we're at this point where we're talking about weight loss. We've been talking about weight loss for so long, right? The fact is, when you gained weight, what you effectively did was you reset your body's level of homeostasis. You taught your body through this weight gain, hey, here's our new normal. Your body, I talk about this all the time. The thing that our body is always trying to do to keep us safe, to protect us, is to find homeostatic balance.
Maintain
It just
balance.
basically means balance. To stay where it is.
Because that's safe.
Because that feels safe to the body, right? So whatever we do consistently for long periods of time, we teach our body this is the new normal.
Mm-hmm.
This is why fitness models and competitors who have done what we have done for a long period of time seem to have an easier time doing the things, what you all see is maintaining these fit, healthy physiques. But in reality is we have a easier time following the habits that create fit, healthy physiques.
You've created
because
You've created. I like to use the word expectation. Like it's like you've told your body this is what you should expect, how things are going to be, and then
Yes.
you've done the things so that your body now learns, hey, this is how things are going to be.
The
It makes it
consistency.
easier when now you're just maintaining that.
Yes.
And you're not having to change it all the time.
So hello to my yo-yo dieters. Sorry to say, but that yo-yo dieting is what is keeping you stuck.
Yeah.
That I'm keto for a week. Now I'm binging. Now I'm keto for a month. Now I'm binging. Every time you go back to the old patterns, you tell the body, forget about that new thing we've been trying to establish. Let's go back.
Yeah.
Yep, this is still safe.
It's like your kids. If anybody, I'm not going to assume that everybody's got kids, but if you all know anything about kids or when you were a kid, there's certain things that you have to do to set an expectation. You set a routine. We call it, I got to set a routine for my kid. They get up, they do this when it's, or a bedtime routine. Here's what we do every single night when it's time to go to bed. We go brush our teeth, we go to the bathroom, we do this, we get in our pajamas, we say goodnight to everybody, we go read a book, and then you lay down, we turn the light off, you close the door, and you go to bed. Like whatever that is. With kids, you mess that up one night when you're trying to establish that, and you got to start the whole freaking process over
I
again.
love that analogy.
It's freaking horrible, right? They get into it. It takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks for them to get to realize, hey, this is how it's going to be. They're banging on the door. They want to come out of the room. They come downstairs 20 minutes later. I want some water. I got to go to the bathroom, whatever it may be. And they're fighting that routine.
Oh my gosh, that's what
Right?
your limbic brain does.
That's what you're doing, right? They don't want to fit into this new thing. Once you're consistent, if you're consistent as a parent, because some parents have a hard time dealing with that, right?
Yep.
You're consistent. You reestablish that routine. You go on a trip. And then you don't try to maintain that routine even though because you're on vacation. Oh, now you can stay up late because we're on vacation. What happens when you come home? You got to start the whole freaking thing over again because they just spent 3 days on a trip somewhere. You went to a cabin in the woods and let them stay up all night and party
Now they think it's
or do
okay,
whatever it is they're doing. Now they think, oh, now here's my new routine. You've introduced something new that now they're expecting.
Yep.
So then you come home and you're like, and then you get mad at them because they're not doing what they were doing before you wanted. Well, you're the one that introduced the new routine. You're the one that said you can expect something new.
Yep.
So now you have to start all over again. So it's the same thing with your body.
So much. And it's like training a dog.
Yeah, same thing.
If
Right,
you
absolutely.
let go of the reins for one time, now you start all over again with training the dog, right? Your body will do what it's trained to do. The scary thing about that is that you can train it into poor patterns.
Yeah.
You can starve it to death. And that's what happens. Do you know, out of all the psychiatric diagnoses, that anorexia has the highest death rate? It has the highest mortality rate of all psychiatric conditions. So it tells me that, and you know what, a lot of that is suicide.
Mm-hmm.
But you can starve yourself to death.
Yeah.
So this concept of, oh, my body just won't lose weight no matter what, that's not true. You could do very dangerous things to make it lose weight.
Yeah.
We don't want you doing that
Right.
because there's likely a lever you can pull before you need to do that.
Yeah, and this is where the crux, I think, of what your point is that whatever you're trying to do to lose weight, stop. Let's try and heal your body. Let's try and help your body work the way that it needs to work so that you can live a good quality of life and be healthy and enjoy your life. I just did a video on this. I recorded a video yesterday. I don't know when it's going to go out, but the title of it is There is No Such Thing as a Healthy Body Weight. Okay? You can be unhealthy at any weight. Whatever you're thinking your goal weight is going to do for you, it is not. If you, I don't know how many times I'm going to probably be saying this for the next 40 years. I'm assuming I'm living to 92.
At least.
At least. It doesn't matter how much you weigh if you can't engage in the things in your life that you want to engage in. If you can't get up off the couch, if you can't play with your grandkids, if you can't go for a walk outside by yourself, if you can't wipe your own ass when you're 90 years old, who cares how much you weigh? That's what this is about. So let's try and change the focus from how much you weigh to how much you can do. How much can your body, how much body confidence, it all goes back to this, guys. How much can you trust that your body is going to perform when you need it to perform? That's what confidence is about.
What he means is when you're focused on the right things, like the weight is like what I used to call, when I first started my journey, it was all about health. And the weight was a happy side effect. The weight loss just happened because I was focusing on the right things.
Yeah.
But some of you, and I did want to mention this today, some of you do not need to lose weight at all.
Ooh, say it again. What do they need to do if they don't need to lose weight?
Some of you need to actually gain weight. Because you are underweight.
Yes.
Some of you are underweight.
Yes.
Some of you are because you are under muscled and you need muscle.
Yes.
And actually,
some of you need fat too.
Some of you need body fat.
We got women that we work with that they're like 70% muscle, skeletal muscle percentage to body weight, but it's because they're tiny, their overall weight is really low, and their body fat percentage is like 12%. It's like you need another 8% body fat. You need more fat on your body. The reason you're having adrenal issues, the reason you have high cortisol, the reason you can't sleep, the reason you feel like crap at 2:00 in the afternoon every day is because you don't have enough fat on your body.
Yep.
You need more fat.
Yep.
And there are a lot of women that are afraid of
they are fighting against
of that fat. It's like you need it.
Yep. When you come to me and you're like, I'm eating 1,000 calories a day and I'm doing cardio and I'm 18% body fat and I want to shred.
Sorry.
Luckily, I don't have as many people coming to me for that anymore. Luckily, these days, when women come to me in that situation, they're saying, I know I need to build. I know I need to eat more. I'm afraid of eating more. And that's why I need your help.
Yeah.
But when you're in denial about that, make no mistake, you have an eating disorder.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
a problem.
It's hard because you see, we have, again, we've worked with women or tried to work with women who are 100 pounds and they're doing chronic cardio. They're at sub 15% body fat and they're eating PSMF 3 days a week. And even when they are eating fat, it's like 50 grams. It's like, it's so hard.
And they're doing Beachbody programs.
It's so hard. It's like you need to stop tracking. Honestly, in those situations, it's one of the few times where I'm like, stop tracking and just eat your face off and go lift some weights.
Those are the people that need to prime.
I wouldn't even say priming because that's a short term. I would just say.
But I will say priming is another marketing term, by the way, guys.
Yes.
That's another buzzword.
You had to bring that up.
To try to get you, because it just came up on my masterclass.
Yeah, but now people are going to be confused thinking that we're good, we're okay with priming. Let's
we're
not say priming.
But let's just say when you are starving yourself to death,
you need to eat more.
You need to eat more.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be priming because that is going way to the extreme.
Right.
But you do need to bring it up. And what I generally do with people who need to do that, we go through a reverse diet. I start you slow. Right. I give you a goal to work toward. And then I ask you to just inch your way there. If it has to be 50 calories a week, just start slowly adding a little bit more, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Because I know the mental side of that is really tough.
Yeah. Just to say for the priming thing, I know me personally, I've dealt with several people who are coming from those types of programs, and they're completely messed up. I know Dr. Zaldivar right now is on a mission to stop priming altogether. Because she's been dealing with a lot of people who are coming from priming protocols who are completely screwed when it comes to their relationship with food and understanding their bodies.
And that's another individualized thing, is when you're seeing these buzzwords and these concepts that sound exciting to you, ask yourself, why am I interested in that?
Right. What's the quick fix I'm looking for?
And who is sharing that with me? What's their experience and their background? Who are they speaking to? We always talk about this, and this was part of his talk as well, and this is part of his new book. So if you haven't gotten the new book yet, get on the pre-sale list, because he talks about how to understand, is something for you?
Yep.
Because that's the problem. The people who are doing this priming stuff have no business doing that. And they're just attracted to it because they're binge eaters. And that's driving that, ooh, that means I get to binge my face off.
Or they're thinking it's going to be a quick way to reset their
Reset.
satiety and lose some fat. But then what happens is they come out of it being binge eaters.
That's right. It's teaching.
That's
them.
been a lot of the problem that I've had. People have come in, they didn't go into it with an issue, but they come out of it and now they can't stop binging.
That's another, you're training your body what to expect.
Yep.
So this is the whole thing. This is another reason why both of us are very much against these extremes. PSMF one day, binge your face off the next day. Guess what you're teaching your body? Restrict, binge.
Ooh.
Restrict, binge. What is that?
Babe.
It's yo-yo dieting on a smaller scale.
You ready for this one?
Go for it.
You can't have trust in your body until you tell your body it can trust you.
Ooh, yes. Yes. You teach your body to trust you by being consistent.
Yep.
Showing it, no, we're not jumping off the path every other day because some new thing promises us something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Teach your body by what you do every
Set
day.
the expectation.
Yep.
So, okay, a couple things. So what we basically have talked about is the term, the phrase, the marketing slogan of weight loss resistance isn't anything different than anything that we've ever talked about. It's been the same issue for the last 50 years. People having a hard time lose weight because of a whole bunch of different reasons. So first off, when we talk about managing weight loss, the first thing we have to understand is what is it? What is weight loss resistance? And we just talked about that, right? It's all of the same things you're struggling with to figure out how can I get my body to perform the way I need it to perform. It has nothing to do with the weight specifically. So when we look at that, we're talking about, well, what's the next step? Where do we go from there?
Right, if I have weight loss resistance,
What do I do?
what's the navigation?
The navigation thing, number one. What is the focus? What are you really focused on? We talked about that's the first step. The second step is, are you doing the basics?
Oh boy, yep.
Okay, I'm stuck. I'm doing all these things. And one of the common threads through when I was looking this up and trying to see what people are saying about it online and in different communities, the common thread is not just that it's hard to lose weight, but that people feel like they're doing everything they can. They're eating right, they're exercising, etc. You saw that on the ad that we said.
You know the one we see all the time? I've been carnivore for X amount.
Right, and nothing's happening.
And I'm not losing weight. What's wrong?
What's wrong?
And there's no context of, okay, what are you doing?
What are you actually doing?
Carnivore is a very broad term.
Right. So part of that is, this is 1.5 or 1A, is when we talk about understanding what you're focusing on. If it's not weight loss, if there's a bunch of other things, understand that it's a bunch of other things. Okay? Is your blood sugar going down? Is your waist shrinking? Are you having more energy? Are you getting stronger in the gym? Are you sleeping better? Right? Do you feel less brain fog? Like there's a million things that you can look at to see if you're getting an improvement from the things you're doing.
Okay, first off, what he's talking about is separating weight loss from progress.
Yes.
Assigning my progress to weight loss only.
Yes.
What are the other metrics and the other measurements you can look at to determine progress? And that's a big thing we do in both of our programs. We look at a whole slew of metrics that you look at beyond weight. And if those things are changing, then you're making improvements, you're making progress.
Yep.
And you're more likely to stay consistent when you can see what your wins are, when you can track all these other things and say, okay, I may not be seeing loss on the scale, but I know that I'm improving because of X, Y, Z. And because of that, I will be able to stick to this longer. And guess what? Sticking to it longer is what's going to ultimately give you the results you want. Bingo. And let's be real. The results you want, if you completely change the way your body looks and performs, but it's the same weight, are you going to be happy or are you going to be pissed off that you're just the same weight? Right. If you're wearing a bikini and you never thought you could ever get in a bikini and you can do 10 pull-ups and you can do 20 push-ups like it's nothing and you can run up a hill without getting winded And you don't have aches and pains anymore.
And
are you still just going to be pissed off if if your weight hasn't changed?
Or you don't have the medications that you used to have, right? You drop your insulin. We have a lot of people. You drop your insulin from 120 to 60, right? Or you don't have to take.
And you're seeing muscle. You literally see
Yeah.
a different body looking back at you at the mirror. You have muscle definition. You have abs. You have a butt. Are you pissed because you just don't weigh anything different?
Yeah. So that's the one.
The truth is, you don't actually want weight loss.
Say that again.
The truth is, you're not actually wanting weight loss.
You're not.
The first thing you have to ask yourself is, when I achieve this weight, I think is going to
What's going to be different
the
in my
magic
life?
number.
Right. What's different?
What is different? What does my life look like? What does my body look like? How do I
Right.
perform? What are all the things that I think are going to come along with that goal weight?
Yep.
And most of the time, if and when you hit that goal weight, it's not going to match all those other things.
Yeah.
And you start to realize it was never about the weight in the first place.
Right. So that's 1.5, 1A to the understanding what are we really talking about? And then point 2, the second thing in the process is, what are you actually doing the things that make sense to do? Okay?
When you say, I'm doing everything and I can't lose weight, what is
Are
it?
you doing everything?
Or qualify that statement. What is everything?
Even if you are doing everything from the minimum of getting as much nutrient density, let's say you're eating all the right things and you're doing all the right exercise. There's other levels to that. Are you eating enough? Are you exercising too much? Are you exercising enough? There's other things that go into that. I'm doing everything I can.
What type of exercise are you doing?
Here's an example. I had a client that I'm working with right now who we just did a consultation. We talked about her limiting beliefs in the things that she repeatedly was saying she couldn't do. I can't do this because. And when you boil it down to it, wasn't that she couldn't, it was that she didn't want to. But she had a limiting belief in her head, and we deal with stuff like that all the time. There's things that we're not doing because we just don't believe or don't understand that that's the thing that's holding us back. Right?
Or we just like doing this unhealthy habit that we currently have.
And we don't want to let it go.
Yep.
And here's an example. We set macros. Here's your macros for the day. Something happened in the day particularly. She did some activity. She was a little hungrier than normal. She ate all her macros at like 2 o'clock, by 2 o'clock in the day. Plenty of food, got all the nutrition she needed for the day. But now the question is, well, now I'm not going to bed till 9 or 10 o'clock. I've got 7 to 8 hours before I have to eat again. I have to eat dinner. What am I going to do? I'll be over my macros. I guess I'll just have some eggs and bacon or something. And it's like, you already got your nutrition in for the day. Where is the belief coming from that just because you're hungry at 7 o'clock at night, you have to eat?
And even prior to that, because she was saying this after she ate all her macros. She
Right.
wasn't even hungry yet.
She wasn't even hungry yet. She was
like
pre-planning that she was going to be hungry. So she had to just, oh, well, I'll be over my macros today.
And how much of it?
And just being accepting of that. Now,
You
how
also
often
see-
is that happening? And then you're wondering why I'm stuck. I'm having weight loss resistance. No, you're not. You're still just eating.
If you're
eating too
overeating
much.
every day,
Right?
if you're just okay with going over your macros 5 days out of the week,
Yep.
then you are not
Doing what it takes. You're not being consistent with the plan.
Another big one I see with that is, well, the family eats dinner at such and such time. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to eat a certain way so that I can have dinner with my family. Okay, so you need to pre-plan that.
Yep.
If it's important to you to eat while the rest of your family is eating, then you need to either have the wherewithal when you're hungrier earlier in the day to say, I'm not going to eat right now so that I can eat with my family.
Right.
Or if I eat right now, I can sit down and spend time with my family, but I don't have to eat when they eat.
Right.
That is, and it's challenging those beliefs.
Right. And
It's
she
really
like, yeah,
powerful.
like she could have said, I'm hungry after this activity, but I know I'll be hungry. I'll also be hungry 6 hours from now. I have to choose. Do I want to eat now and be hungry then, or do I want to be hungry now and eat later?
Or she could have said, maybe I could just have a snack right now that will hold me over until dinner so I can still eat dinner, and then I'll just have to eat a little bit less.
A little
for
bit
dinner.
less each meal. Yeah, each time. Yeah, it's those types of things that we're doing that we're not thinking about. How is it impacting our process? How is it impacting our progress, I should say? So that's where we're talking about. Yeah, there's the basics that we talk about all the time, guys. You're going to hear us say it over and over again. Stop eating whole food, or stop eating whole food. Start eating whole food. Stop eating processed foods. Stop eating seed oils. Stop overtraining and doing all the cardio. Focus on building muscle. Get more sleep. Try to manage your stress better. Those are the basics. But then there's kind of that.
And control your intake.
And then there's that some of the basic stuff where we, when we were talking about this before, kind of planning what we're going to talk about, it's like, hey, how much, there's like some advanced things that we could talk about where timing can make a difference.
We can get into all the nuanced stuff after you are executing all the basics.
Right.
But real quick, let's talk about something we see a lot, which is you think you're doing all the things, but you're not tracking. You're like, I'm eating carnivore, but I'm not losing weight. Well, are you tracking what you're eating?
Or what,
no, I
or
couldn't
what you're
ever
doing?
track. It's too stressful to track.
Yep. If you're not tracking, you're not trying.
Well, if you're not making progress and you're not willing to track, you got to make a decision here.
Yep.
Is it more important to me to not track, or is it more important to see progress?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with at least seeing what you're currently doing. But if you don't know what you're currently doing, then you don't know what to change.
Bingo.
So the first thing is you have to assess, when I say I'm doing all the things and I can't lose weight, get really clear about what you're currently doing.
Yeah.
What does all the things entail?
Here's another piece. If you don't know what you're doing and you're not doing the basics, if you're not consistently doing the basics and you don't know what you're doing, even if you do find one of these magic pill solutions and protocols and you go do it, it's not going to work. Because the first thing they're going to tell you to do, if they're even from a protocol level, if they're any good at what they're doing and they're trying to give you a magic pill, the first thing they're going to do is say, what are you doing now?
Yep.
Because that's part of the process. So if you're not tracking and you go, hey, maybe it's just leptin resistance, I'm going to go find a leptin guru and have them fix me because my leptin's broken. The first thing they're going to do is, what are you doing now?
And the truth is,
and if you're not tracking, they can't help you.
And the truth is, these programs and these people, even though they're saying diet and exercise is not helping and you need this,
they're going to give you the same.
They're going to give you a diet and exercise plan to do.
Yeah.
So even the supplements, this came up as a question in my latest masterclass about a particular fat burning supplement. And I'm going to do a masterclass all about fat burning supplements. And y'all can drop for me every supplement you've heard of that you want to hear my input about.
What was the one from back in the day?
Oh, it used to be
hydroxycut. Oh my God.
Yeah, back in the day.
I did that back in the day.
Yeah.
Woo, talk about like walking around like fucking sweating all the time and everything. Oh God.
So this one particular thing, when I looked it up, well, while their clinical trial, which by the way was the company's clinical trial,
right, they did,
with 19 people completed it. So massive sample size, right?
Yep.
Tiny sample size of people who it showed like a 20% or maybe even a 50% increase in how much fat they lost each week or whatever.
Was it like 8 weeks?
It was 12 weeks, and they were all on a 1,250 calorie diet. Regardless of their starting
what they
body
actually
weight.
needed, right?
So it was women who weighed 130 pounds up to over 200 pounds. They were all on the same exact diet.
So it had nothing to do with the supplement. They were all starving themselves.
They were saying that compared to the control group who did the same diet, that those with the supplement got better results. But here's the thing. It was not in a clinical ward setting.
Right.
So it was all based on self-reporting.
Surveys.
And the supplement, what it was touted to do was help with hunger and satiety. Those things that everybody's trying to sell you on is the magic pill, right? Oh, you can't lose weight because of your leptin. Well, if you're having a leptin ghrelin problem, the only reason it's going to cause you to not lose body fat is if you are then overeating because you're not feeling full. If you're still able to control your impulses, despite your increased hunger and your reduced satiety, you will still get results. But the reason why this is a problem for people is because of the behaviors that go along with the signaling. It's not the signaling by itself. Mm-hmm. What I do when I'm on a prep versus when I'm not on a prep, when I feel extra hungry, if I'm not cutting, when I feel extra hungry, I let myself eat more. When I'm cutting for a show and I'm more serious about it, when I'm hungry, I just deal with the hunger.
Yeah.
So what they're
Yeah.
saying essentially this supplement helped with was their ability to adhere to the plan.
It's the, what was I going to say? I just saw somebody comment on my shirt, so it totally threw me off. I love this shirt too. I totally lost my train of thought.
Damn, what were you gonna say?
What were you talking about? I totally lost it. It popped in my head.
Talking about the supplement, they were all on the same 1,250 calorie diet.
No,
and the
something
whole
you said after that.
leptin and ghrelin thing is that it's your behaviors in response to the
yes.
signals that are the issue.
Yes. We talked about it earlier, and this connects to the whole setting the expectation and telling your body what to expect.
Oh, yeah.
The habits, the things that you do, regardless of the signaling, are temporary. So we a lot of people, you'll hear us say all the time, it's not about willpower, it's not as much about discipline, but those aren't not in the discussion. You do need some willpower, you do need some discipline, you do need that commitment to do things that are going to be hard and challenging.
At least
you need
until...
that grit. Initially, until you get to that new baseline, right? You set
New
the
normal.
expectation, and then your body's like, oh, this is how I'm doing it now, everything's cool.
My leg is
and then you're
falling
not.
asleep. Can you switch legs? Oh, y'all, he's getting hot and bothered now.
Okay.
Okay, that's better.
Right. So it's not a forever thing. None of this stuff is a forever thing, other than you doing what you need to do and adjusting as needed to improve your life for as long as possible.
I love this comment. I've had to leave bacon in the dust. I was overeating it.
Bingo.
That's a great example right there.
I'm sorry. By the way.
Yes, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
But that's such a great example. You have to know yourself
Yes.
and understand your patterns, the things that you're doing that are holding you back. Because that's ultimately what it comes down to. And we hate to say it, but it is your responsibility to correct the things that you are doing that are not getting you the results that you want.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Well, we're at about an hour on my end, so probably 47 minutes on your end. Anything we want to add or close this up with, other than, like you said, it's your responsibility, but that also means you're in control.
The beauty
This
of that.
is not something
Yes.
it's not your body fighting against you necessarily. This is not, there's something broken and you're a horrible person. There's so many defeating thoughts and beliefs that we have about this process, guys. You're in control of all of it. You can fix it. You can get where you want to go. Just understand that it's not a single thing that's going to get you there. It's a lot of different pieces. It's going to take time for you to figure out all those pieces and put them in place in the right times, in the right order. Just be patient with yourself.
I'm glad you said it's not your body fighting you, because I wanted to say that it is your body fighting you.
Yeah.
But that's not because of some mysterious hormone you didn't know about.
Right.
It's because that's what your body is designed to do. It is going to fight against you when you're trying to change something.
It's fighting against change, right? Well, yeah. It's fighting against change. It's not fighting against you. But yeah.
Right. So you teach it by continuing on that it has nothing to fear.
Right. Hi, Coach Jen.
What up? All right. You had some questions in there.
What about calcium leakage on carnivore? Does it happen, and how to correct it?
It's a totally different topic.
Yeah, totally different topic.
Artificial sweeteners.
Artificial sweeteners are causing me to overeat. Same with thickened cream. I overeat it easily. Same here. It wasn't serving my goals. It hurts to let them go.
But they're
gone now. Self-sabotage, old habits.
Okay, can I just say this?
Dexatrin, that was another one.
Oh, yeah, it was. In the carnivore community, 9 times out of 10.
Hold on, I got a soapbox I want to get for you to stand on.
Anytime I start within the carnivore
I know exactly where this one's going.
What is holding you back is all of the desserts you're making with cream and butter and eggs. The eggs aren't the problem. Just eat the freaking eggs by themselves. Instead of recreating all carnivore cheesecake, carnivore butter bites, carnivore
blah, 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 blah. If you got the time to make all this crap, just eat the real stuff and go work out instead.
You'll save yourself a whole bunch of time. Yep.
Like the time it's taking that the people are investing in their day to make all this stuff, like guys, just make some eggs and eat the eggs. Put some salt on it. Have a blast, right?
Yep.
Spend that time doing something that's actually going to be way more productive. Now, I'm not saying that everything, like there's people that are at different places, okay? This is, I think, more targeted to people that have been we have people all the time. I've been carnivore for 5 years and haven't seen any progress. I've been doing it for 2 years. I've been doing it for 3 years, whatever it is. When you've gotten to a point where you have basically removed, I'm going to change that word, where you have basically replaced all your standard American food with standard American keto, and you're still not seeing progress, it's time to actually go whole foods keto or whole foods carnivore.
Standard American keto, standard American carnivore.
That's the problem. That's the sticking point in most cases. So just understand, guys.
And those artificial sweeteners, that's another really good point.
Yes.
You're either making the stuff or you're buying the already made standard American keto products that are made with a bunch of this crap that are keeping you in this habit loop.
Right.
Because they're designed to do that. They make you want more, and then it's very difficult to moderate. This is why I shouldn't even bring that up.
Well, you said something now.
This is why people go on sardine fasts.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so highly unnecessary. If you would just say, what are the things I can't stop eating? Those are the things I'm not going to eat right now. Versus, I'm only going to eat sardines because otherwise I overeat.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, every single real food meat product, you're not overeating all of it. Would you overeat plain chicken breast? Probably not. If you're overeating fatty burgers, maybe just stop eating fatty burgers right now. And go to leaner burgers that you're not going to overeat because at a certain point you're sick of it. Or go to I'm not a big fan of chicken because it's not highly nutrient dense.
Hates chicken.
No, I do. I love chicken thighs in the air fryer.
As a primary food, you hate chicken.
Yes. Yes. It's not something you should be eating as your main food. But if you are a person who cannot stop yourself when you're eating certain carnivore foods because they're so hyper palatable, even the real foods, find a way to make it less palatable for you while still eating a great variety of highly nutrient dense carnivore animal based products. Mm-hmm. Not even products, but foods, right? There's a way to do that without having to go to the extreme of eating the thing that tastes the worst to you in the world because it's the only thing you're not going to overeat.
Right. Which, the minute you stop doing that, what are you doing now?
You're just going to go back.
You're just going to go back to what you're doing before, right?
Unless you're addressing the real problem.
Here's an observation. This is completely my observation of the whole sardine thing. Okay? I haven't seen a single person who is doing or promoting or talking about them doing a sardine fast who hasn't previously been someone who consistently promotes or talks about or shares their keto or carnivore treats all the time.
Shots fired.
Most of the people, I would say every single person I've seen talking about the sardine fast is somebody who previously spends more of their time making keto versions of food as opposed to just eating the food.
Well, and that's why they're
that's what we're talking about, right?
To a sardine fast.
Right.
Like, but what this is saying, if you're attracted to any protocol that sounds like that's the answer.
Yes.
It's because you are giving your power.
I literally was just going to say that.
I love you.
I literally was waiting to say that.
You're giving your power to something outside of you. You're saying this thing has the power to stop me from myself.
Yes.
Versus, I have the power to change this thing. And that is the reason why I don't promote any of that stuff. Because as soon as you give that power away, you are never going to heal. You are never going to fix it until you determine and decide and commit to the fact that you are the only one. You are the one in control, not the food.
Yeah. The challenge isn't going to save you.
Right.
That should be a t-shirt.
Well, that's why people are also attracted to fasting. If I'm
Right.
not eating at all, then I can do it. But as soon as I eat anything, then I have to eat everything. That's a thought process, y'all. That's where you have to focus on, changing the thought patterns.
Yeah.
Until you do that, you're going to keep going back to the old habit again and again.
Well, we've done videos and we've talked about this, right? People that are challenge hoppers, they can't see any progress
Challenge hoppers.
until unless they're
brilliant.
doing a challenge. We see it all the time, right? Oh, I'm doing this challenge. As soon as that one's done, they have 2 or 3 weeks of just going off the rails, and then they're looking for the next challenge. Because unless they have this external thing that's controlling them, they can't stay on track. They can't do the things that they need to
I can't be in
do.
control. Somebody else.
I don't
has
have
to.
I can't do this. I need the challenge to do it. I need
That is
accountability.
That is a self-defeating thought.
Yeah. You're giving it away.
I explained this on my website about how my challenge is different, how the Shape Up Challenge is different, and this is exactly it. Because it's not about giving you a plan. You're not going to sign up for my challenge and get a meal plan. Yes, you're going to get training to do, but it's not like, here's the plan that's going to save you. It's about teaching you how to track macros, teaching you how to become accountable for yourself, teaching you to check in with yourself and with us with certain questions that you need to reflect upon every week. These are the things that get you thinking differently and then get you acting differently and put you in the driver's seat. That's why my mantra and my subtitle is become the CEO of your body and your journey. Step into the CEO role, take responsibility, and recognize that you have the power. I suppose we can end there.
We can end there. All right, guys, you know where to reach us. Don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube. If you're on my YouTube, if you're watching this, you're probably already following her on her Instagram. If you're on my YouTube and you're not following that on her Instagram, it's the Keto Bikini Pro on Instagram. Go check her out and follow her channel. If you're on Instagram and you're not following me on YouTube, go to YouTube. It's coach.bronson on YouTube. And we will see you guys next week. Later.
Bye.
Thanks for joining, everybody.